What's going on, guys? So we have an interesting video for you today. If you recall, recently we installed an RV 12-volt refrigerator, replacing a gas-electric refrigerator in my buddy's Jayco travel trailer. Today, we'll be doing something also very cool and a pretty dang big upgrade. So my channel sponsor, etrailer.com, told me that the folks that produce the Advent air conditioner, a division of ASA Electronics, wanted to feature their new low-profile air conditioning system on an RV. And you guys know I just recently installed a new AC on the Surveyor, and my buddy has a Jayco travel trailer that does not have two ACs. It only has one. It's a 30-amp connection to the RV, so we understand we're going to have to do some creativeness in terms of wiring so we can make sure both ACs can run if he wants to whenever he's at a campground. So today, we'll be installing this really cool Advent rooftop air conditioner. This is a low-profile unit. We have the upper unit, we have the interior air distribution panel, and then we have a soft start kit. So all three of these packages will be unboxed and installed inside of his, or on top of and inside of his RV. This should be a pretty fun video for those of you considering doing a similar upgrade. There are a lot of caveats to this, and we'll go over those as we get to them. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so we have all the components unboxed. Here is the soft start kit, which should mount inside of this housing. This is the white unit, so they make this in both white and black. He opted for the white unit because the existing AC on his RV is currently white, so we wanted to match the two, but this is what it looks like. This will go on the roof, this will go inside of the RV, and that will go inside of the unit that's on the roof. Okay, so my buddy just got here. He's actually in the process of backing in right there. We have an electrician here today that's actually going to run some of the wiring for us, only because my buddy has an electrician who's a friend, and he said he'd come and help. Basically, your 120 is going to come in through here. It's going to connect here. There's your ground. There's a plug on the bottom of the top unit that will plug in right here. I don't really know what that's for, but there might be some. Okay, so that's if you have optional heat. So if you have a heat strip in here, that's what that would connect to. We do not have a heat strip in here, so we do not use that. But this will be the interior panel. That's going to be the cover, which will go on it. This is how the air is routed. So basically, it's going to come out through here and then go out through the ducting right there. And it has louvers on the front and on the back. And then this unit will basically be on top and sandwiched between the roof using this and that. Okay, so we have his Jayco in place. We're going to walk inside real quick. So this is the interior cover panel for the vent. We're going to remove this, and this will give us a few different things. First of all, we'll be able to see what type of spacing we have to run wiring in the actual roof section right here between the ceiling and the roof. Okay, so it's boxed off all the way around. That is what you want to see. On some units, you might only see framing here, but you don't see framing here. Because this is boxed off completely around, that means that it was already prepped so an AC could go in here. Now what we're going to need to do is trace where that hole goes, because obviously it's going to lead to the breaker box. We don't need to go there. We're simply going to need to go out this way, probably through this front cabinet, so we can drop down into the basement section. But we're going to go ahead and get the rest of this removed, and we'll start tracing to see where we're going to run our wires. Then we'll let you know. Okay, so we are trying to fish some wire through here right now. We pulled down some of that trim work up here so we could see exactly how much space we have to get wire fed up there. How far back you think you're getting right now?
About 2 foot.
2 foot, so we're probably getting right about to here. And we want to get further. So there's another joist obviously right here that we're going to have to deal with. And the question is if we can't get to it, I mean, we can probably run it right here, drop it down, or even maybe do a little hole where we can feed it up and then patch the hole, but I'm not sure. What are you thinking? If we have a joist here, and then I think we're 24 on center, so we probably have another one that seems about right at the 2 foot mark. Do we want to try to go through it? Which we may not be able to, because this is where the front cap starts sloping down, and typically they'll put a solid piece of wood there. So getting through that might be difficult. Okay, so we are on the top, and it's in really good shape considering how much he uses it. We're still hitched up. I might have him drop his stabilizers because things are a little wobbly up here. We're gonna have to peel off all this lap sealant around this vent, And then there's screws all around the perimeter, so we're gonna have to take all this off so we can remove this section, because if you look at what we've done over here on any of the other ACs we've worked on, the gasket or the seal for the AC unit just compresses directly against the roof. You're not putting anything else. So we want to make sure that this is as clean as possible. So we're going to have to get some cleaning tools up here to try to scrape all this off, and in the process, not damage the roof membrane. Okay, so now that we have all the screws out, and they didn't put one in every hole, there was probably 3/4 the number of screws that were needed. So there were more than enough, but yeah, not every hole is going to have a screw in it. It's still stuck to the membrane a little bit, but we should be able to pull it out. There we go. We are completely disconnected. We have a nice big hole in the roof now. Just got to clean up all this lap sealant from around the edge, so whenever the AC gets set up on top, it'll make a good flat contact with the roof. Okay, so I've cleaned it up the best I can. What I'm going to do whenever we put the AC up here, which is typically something you don't need to do if you're replacing an AC or if you've never had lap sealant up here, is I'm actually going to put a bead of lap sealant around and over every hole that's here, and we're going to set the AC seal on top of that, only because, again, there's some surfaces here where I couldn't get everything off, and I don't want to take a chance that the seal around the AC isn't going to compress down exactly. And if I try to take any more of this off, I'm just going to stretch the membrane and I could possibly damage it. So we're going to put a bead of lap sealant around here, and we'll lower the AC on top of that whenever we're ready. Okay, so we're heading inside of the RV to see what's going on. Okay, so he has our cabling ran up here. It's dropping down right here, and they actually make a transitional cap that we can put right here to transition over. Oh, never mind, he's got the transitional cap right here, so this will cover up like that, which it'll look really clean once that's there. It's feeding around the edge here. It's dropping down inside of this cabinet, straight down into the basement area. So that's where the plug's actually going to terminate to. Once we have a connector, which will be a twist lock residential style connector mounted in there, we'll put a pass through in the door so we can access it. It's looking really clean, and this really blends in well with the roof, or the ceiling, so that looks really good. It's coming along. Okay, time to get the AC on the roof. Okay, so we've moved the AC unit to the top of the RV. Boy, this thing comes in really, really handy. And I have my die core, or at least my lap sealant up here. We're going to put a nice bead all the way around the edge to cover up all of these screw holes. We just want to make sure that the seal that's on the RV AC is going to mate up well against the roof, and the die core or the lap sealant will definitely help us ensure that that happens. Plus, like I mentioned, real small tear right there, and I want to be sure I cover that up as well. But we're going to make sure that this is nice and sealed, so whenever it compresses down, everything is nice and tight and we don't have any chance of water intrusion. So let's get that part going. Real slowly, but not all the way down yet. Let him kind of... Tell us when to bring it all the way down. We're good? All right. Okay, so we had the electrician from the inside help align it as we lowered it down, because I did want it to sit perfectly down on the lap sealant. I did not want the lap sealant to smudge. It's going to compress a bit and probably drip in there a little bit. We'll just have to clean that up, but it looks like it is perfectly aligned, so great job to the electrician. And we're going to go on the inside and start working on the inner portion of this. Okay, so we're on the inside now. Check that out. That is pretty much perfect. So these right here are where the long bolts will have to come through, so we might have to shift it over just a hair to make sure that we can reach them all. Usually you can, but we have the ability to slide it around a little bit, which is nice. But yeah, we are ready to start installing some of the interior stuff. The main thing we need to do is get the interior bracket in place so it can compress this down. Okay, so reading the instructions, we have the AC on the roof. I need to put that upper duct piece in place, which I've done. It's just 2 Phillips head screws. They say you need to use C screws, and if you go towards the back, it gives you a key to understand what screws are what. And now we need to take the lower ducting and put it in place and make sure we have the front facing the right direction. And this is the lower ducting right here. So this right here is the front. This is going to slide over that upper duct section right there. We're going to go ahead and get this in place and fasten down with these really long screws that go up right here and basically squeeze the whole unit together, and that's what secures it to the roof. You'd think there's more, but now there's technically more because we have a ton of lap sealant up there that's also going to harden and keep it from moving. But yeah, this is predominantly holds ACs to the top of RVs. Okay, so I want to show you what we've done here. We have the inner mounting bracket in place. We have the screws going through. All of these bit with about a 1/2 inch worth of threads to start threading in. This one didn't. I had to reduce the little brace right here from this, which is probably, I'm going to say, 1/8 of an inch thick. It's pretty thick. It's a low reinforcement bracket, and I went to a flat washer. I was able to get it to bite, and then finally, once it bit, it compressed the seal down. So we're good. I have aluminum ducting tape all throughout here to make all my seals between the upper duct and the lower duct. This is the air that blows out. This is my return air that sucks in. I got it all sealed around here as well. There was a gap right here that's now sealed with the tape. And we just need to connect our wiring now. So these wires right here were the 12-volt leads going to the vent fan that was in here, and they passed through. So obviously they go from here to something else. So I reconnected these so it could feed whatever else was powered. I'm assuming maybe lighting or something like that. This is all tied to the battery. This is our 110, and you can see it feeds over here, goes there, down into the basement storage area where it has a twist lock connection that we can then connect to a... Actually, it's already connected to an extension cord, so we can plug it in, which we'll use to test it when we're done. I just need to feed my cable here through here, make my connections and my ground, and we should be good to go ahead and put the interior cover panel back on and then test this thing out. Okay, so we have the top cover in place. I have the filter off because there's a screw that needed to go in right here and one that needs to go in right here. Everything is secured the way it should be secured. I was a little worried for a second that I'd butt up against this vent, and I'm not, thankfully. So this is fed from the ducted AC, the second AC unit that's in here already. And the only concern I have here, which is going to kind of be interesting, is the air comes out above here, and it goes this way, and it goes this way, and it might even come down right. No, it doesn't come down. That's kind of interesting because it looks like it's just for cosmetics. But the air blows out this way and this way. So it's going to hit this section unless he closes it off completely, which I don't know if he can. I guess he can try to, and have the air divert this way. But we're going to go ahead and get the soft start installed so we can test this thing out. Okay, so we got to take the cover off of this unit so we can put the soft start in. It looks like they put about 200 screws up here. Actually, it looks like there's 12 or 16, but we're going to take them off. We're going to get the cap off, and we're going to see how hard this is to go ahead and put on. Okay, so with the shroud off, the instructions say to remove the rubber cover, which is right here. I've already removed it with a zip tie. Cut the zip tie, take it off of the start capacitor, and then go to the other side, and you want to find the fan motor, and you're going to attach the soft start with the screws that are included to the 2 holes that are already there. So this is going to mount right here like that. It's actually already notched out. It's perfectly ready for that to be attached. So we're going to go ahead and attach this in place and then get to our wiring back on the other side. Okay, so we've connected our wires. The 2 black wires coming from the capacitor running around top. One connects to your common and one connects to your Herm right here. You don't connect anything to your fan, at least according to the instructions that I read right here. And that should be it. So yeah, connect black wire to Herm, connect black wire to common. And then we should be good to go. I'm just gonna see if I can route this so it doesn't potentially get caught anywhere, probably around the top. And then we'll put the cover back on and the new zip tie that they supply with the soft start kit. Let's get this thing all patched up. Okay, so we just climbed off the roof, brought all the tools down. We have a cable right here, which has a twist lock on the other end, plugs into 110. It's a 12 gauge cable. This is where he ran the twist lock. And we will put a pass through either in the floor or in this door so a wire can just go in so he doesn't have to keep the door open when he's using the AC. But it is done. We just need to power it on and hopefully it doesn't explode. Okay, so now's the moment of truth. Let's see what happens. As always, let's start on low fan. Very, very nice. We got air coming out of both the front and back. We could probably close this one off. Oh yeah, you can block it off if you want to. Leave it open a little bit just for testing. Let's put it on hot medium fan. High fan. Okay, so we're gonna go on low cool. Give it a second to kick in. It may have actually already kicked in. Oh, let me see. There we go. There we go. I hear the compressor running. That is awesome. It is blowing a lot of air too. Let's go on a little colder. Let's go to medium cool. It's definitely one of those things that, just to be sure, you know, we're not running this on a 30 amp cable. We have a 15, 20 amp cable that's running to it. You don't want to start this thing up on max cool right away. You want to start it off on low cool, let the compressor kick in so the compressor ramps up, and then make your adjustments from there. We're on high cool now, on the coldest thermostat setting, and that is freaking awesome. It's working, it's cooling. We did a lot of work here today. We put the new low profile Advent 13,500 BTU air conditioning up top. Does not have the heat strip inside of it. We put the interior panel in. We made sure it all fit properly. We sealed around it because this is a retrofit to an RV that was not pre-wired for an AC up front. And we also had to add sealant because of all the screw holes and little things like that. And you know, the hardest part of all of this, in my opinion, was getting all the old lap sealant off. So we added new lap sealant around the seal just so we would have a really tight seal. It's working really good. It is absolutely cooling a lot. And now my good friend has air conditioning in the bedroom of his RV. He can close that door off, run just this AC at night, and freeze himself out if he wants, and not have to worry about running the other main AC feeding the ducting. And plus, the other AC is a 15,000 BTU, so this is 13.5. It's going to draw significantly less amperage. And if he's in a scenario where he just wants to cool off a bit of the RV or a section and not have to pull so much wattage, he can just run this one independently because it has its own controls up top and it's not ducted. Very cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm actually pretty happy with how loud this thing is too. It's as loud as most conventional ACs in RVs, but I'm gonna say it's a little bit quieter. It's probably, what do you think? Do you think this is as loud as the Dometic that you have in the back?
It's quieter.
It's quieter? You think so? Okay, so he says that it's quieter than his Dometic, and that's a great thing because, well, first of all, do you like fan noises when you're sleeping?
I do.
He does. So this is gonna be great then. And if you turn it down to low cool, the fan speed shuts down. It's a lot quieter, and it's still blowing a lot of air. Definitely enough to cool this very small area. Anyways, guys, please let me know what you think. I'm going to put a link to this in the description of the video. Big shout out to my channel sponsor, etrailer.com, for providing this this AC for review and evaluation on a buddy of mine's RV. And now he's going to be able to enjoy it, and you guys got to see how it was to install an AC in an aftermarket scenario where you're not simply replacing one. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.